to the first vlog. I don't know what I'm doing. I decided last minute that I was going to be vlogging, and by last minute I mean it's actually October 5th. So, like, way beyond last minute. I haven't finished any books yet. I'm currently in the middle of 4 books. The Magnificent Monsters of Cedar Street. I'm also in the middle of Mexican Gothic, which I'm reading with Noria, and then also Vampires Never Get Old, and then also Wilder Girls. So I'm literally halfway through Wilder Girls right now, and I'm enjoying it so far. I love the atmosphere, ooky spooky. I'm not really sure what the heck is going on. I love the kind of supernaturalness to it. I don't know how to explain it. But I'm actually really enjoying it right now. So I don't know, is the ending what people don't like or what? Because I kind of like this creepy, secretive kind of boarding house type thing. As for over the weekend, some of the movies that I got out of the way were I watched Nightmare Before Christmas, Hocus Pocus with my mom. I also watched half of Sweeney Todd. I had to do something halfway through it. And then I also watched The Craft. I've never seen The Craft before, but there is a new version coming out this month. So I was like, now's the time. It's been on my movie to watch list for years. So I am so surprised that it took me this long to watch it. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. So that's that. I'm probably going to lay in bed the rest of the night, see what all I can finish, get a little bit further into Mexican Gothic. So yeah. I probably won't do updates every day. I'll probably just do updates as, you know, I have them. All right, see you some other day. What you doing?
Hey, get the hell out of here.
Stuck little girl. You climbed up there and now you can't get down. You look very regal. Do you ever just see something in stock at a store and you're like, I have to run out and get that right now? Yeah, same. That's not weird at all. I lucked out because that guy was the last one, and I knew I needed him. So Jade the Libra is like one of my favorite YouTubers. And she has a skeleton in her car that she keeps in there. I kind of want to do that. But I have a plan because my parents bought a new vehicle. And I really want to take a picture with it, but I need the skeleton. So, anyway, I gotta go. It's really hot. Okay, I forgot that I put makeup on under my eyes for a video, so if I look like I'm partially dead, that's why. Anyway, what have I done this past week? Would I have liked to have read more than 2 things? Did I really only read 2 things? Holy shit. 3. Okay, I just felt really busy. And I did listen. I finished Wilder Girls. And the second half did, you know, take a turn for the worse for me. Honestly, about halfway through, like, it was so good. And then halfway through, there is a romance introduced that I honestly didn't feel like made a whole lot of sense. It's like, I understand that there was a build-up to it that we don't see. But then it's happening, and then it's not happening, and then it's like, it just was unnecessary to the plot. Like, it didn't add anything to the plot for me, honestly. So, yeah, then the storyline just starts to kind of disintegrate a little bit because there's all these random things happening. And it was entertaining, and I enjoyed it for the most part. It was just like, there were times where I'm like, what? Like, what? And I feel like this would have been a better story, in my opinion, if it was left much more open-ended and no answers were really given. Like, maybe just hinted at. I think I'm going to give it 3 stars. Like, it was okay, but I can see myself forgetting about it, even though it's such a weird book. Magnificent Monsters of Cedar Street. I think that's the title. This was a very middle grade-esque in that there's a lot of adventure. The parents are mostly absent from it. And it's a lot of random, convenient things happening. Very middle grade adventure-esque. It reminded me a lot of like a series of unfortunate events in that it's just like one convenient thing after the other, and a lot of times they're like really weird convenient things. So it was enjoyable. It definitely kind of gave me some nostalgia. There was also, I was like highly surprised with some of the like parallels from today's world and our own history, and like the things that I had to say about that were kind of, I guess, hidden in there. But it talks a little bit about like the Civil War and what that meant and who the real monsters are in life. Humans. But it just made some really interesting remarks on society today that, you know, I definitely wouldn't have noticed as a kid, but I noticed it this time around. It was enjoyable. It was fun. It was interesting. It wasn't the best thing that I've ever read. I'm probably going to give it a 3 stars as well. Vampires Never Die, and I was actually doing this for another video, so I'm not going to go really into it. I'm not going to tell you about the stories anyway, but I ended up giving that a 4 stars overall. I honestly thought it was a really good short story collection. I have seen mixed reviews, but I honestly thought it was just a good time. And I love the different takes that it took on vampire stories. I set up my bullet journal, and I'm probably going to finish filling that out as I go.
This Halloween, I'ma get even with you. I'ma go summer dip, I'ma go find my boo. If you ain't scared, we can disappear in this dark room. This Halloween, I'ma get even with you. I'm a ghost, ghost. Keep it low, low. I'ma dip to the castle in a cloak, wiping off a little blood from my clothes, creeping. I'm a monster for the weekend. Got a long fur coat freaking. See when the truth start leaking. We could be each other's hate fuck for the evening. This Halloween, I'ma get even with you. I'm a ghost, I'm a dip, I'ma go find my boo. If you ain't scared, we can disappear in this dark room. This Halloween, I'ma get even with you. Give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that freaky shit. Give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that freaky shit.
I also picked up a 5-foot tall skeleton. I think his name is going to be Harold. Where'd I get that from? I don't know. Just popped into my head. So Harold, I took some pictures with him in my stepdad's car because it was giving me Halloween Town vibes. So that's what I had to run to Walmart and get Harold. That's what I did. And then I spent the rest of the day doing video stuff. So, I think we're all caught up now. I think we're good. Let's move on with the vlog. Holy hell. This is why I don't vlog. I just talk too much.
Why do I just always look like trash when I'm in a vlog?
Hey, hello, hi. So I haven't really updated you this week because I haven't felt like I've had much to update. I mostly just been doing a lot of work. So, I spent forever last weekend working on my vampire video, which if you haven't seen, check that out. So, I spent all day Sunday editing it before it went up. So, that was my whole day. I did sit down one night and I read Welcome to Dead House, which is the first in the Goosebumps. So I did actually read something for the Goosebumps along, and I have the other ones prepped, and I flew through it. It was actually really good. I was not expecting it to be quite as ooky spooky as it was. I think because it was the first one and R.L. Stine didn't have like that signature humor into it yet, so it was probably one of the creepier ones that he's done just because it didn't really have any humor added to it. And, spoiler alert, the dog dies. Rude. Was not expecting that. Is there anything else I need to update you on? Oh, yeah. So, then I had a book discussion through work Tuesday night. And then, what even day is it? Friday? And then I've spent the rest of the week listening to The Hollow Places, which I was really excited about. And it's a sci-fi kind of horror in that this woman takes over her uncle's museum while he's sick, and basically she ends up finding this portal to like this other kind of dimension type thing where there's other, like there you can tell where other like universes have connected there, but there's some creepy stuff happening there. And then yeah, it deals with kind of the aftermath of finding that and like what they're going to do and the fact that they don't want this creepy thing coming out of there and into the real world. So I will say I was kind of disappointed in this. I thought the premise was so interesting. I just didn't think it was executed super well. I felt a little misled because we really don't spend that much time with this kind of portal, which I feel like is the selling point of the book. So I kind of expected that to be like the star of the show, but you really don't get that. And it almost felt like it was trying really hard to be a comedy on top of that, like a very kind, it almost felt like a chick flick, but with horror stuff. So like seems interesting, but it just fell a little flat for me. I think if I would have gone into it expecting something a little bit different, I would have been okay, but I think I'm going to give this a 3.5. Like, it was entertaining. I wanted to know more. The parts that were ooky spooky, but other than that, I just didn't think that it amped up this world enough. Like, I would have loved to have seen more of this world. I think it just would have upped the ante a little, but for the most part, it just wasn't super exciting to me. Also, I felt like there is a gay character in this, and I felt like it really played into the stereotypical gay. I don't know how to feel about it as someone who is not a gay man, so just fair warning that I felt it might have been a little off, but, you know, what do I know? What do I know? So, I would love to see some other reviewers since it literally just came out, so I haven't seen anyone else review it yet, but is that bad? Is that good? I don't know. Pretty much, I did my nails, and I did them kind of Beetlejuice inspired. I had some thoughts and plans and feelings for them, and it just didn't work out, so this is what we ended up with. I watched the new Addams Family yesterday, and I was really pleasantly surprised. I thought it was really enjoyable. I thought it was a really great story about acceptance, no matter what. Like, I think we've always looked at, you know, there's the idea that the Addams are outcasts, but what happens when you're outcasted within your outcast family? So, I personally enjoyed it. I thought it gave it gave Pugsley a lot more personality than any of the live action movies have, so yeah, I thought it was really enjoyable. I think that's it. I think that's all I have to update you on. I'm waiting for my blooper reel to get done. I'm hoping to maybe read something tonight, tomorrow. I'm probably going to start Tiny Nightmares, which is a collection of horror flash stories, so I'm going to try to read that, get some of that done. Yeah, that's it. Okay, bye. See ya. this is going to be the last day for this vlog, just because, mostly because we're over halfway through the month. I don't want a super long October vlog, so I figure I'd just split it into 2. And Boo-a-thon starts tomorrow, so I think I just kind of want to do that as like its own separate kind of vlog. So I do have to do some planning for that. I planned on doing that earlier today, but I get sidetracked. I ended up propagating some plants, and we did go to breakfast with my mom this morning. So I read about 100 pages in Storm of Locusts. I enjoyed Trail of Lightning, so I expected to enjoy this. I think the pacing's great. There's a cult involved, so I'm eager to see where that goes. So 100 pages flies in that series. It's so good. So there's that. I also started Tiny Nightmares, and these are flash stories. They're all less than like 1,500 words, and it's set up into 4 sections, and the first section is called Head, and I read all of the stories in that, and now we're on to, I think, Body. This is a really great discussion on horror stories in general and horror genre, because it kind of talks about how like there is no single definition for horror. And it's pretty interesting that this book has said that, because I literally started it right after watching Jesse Bowtie and Books video on horror, and they did a really great video on it. It was really eye-opening. I would highly recommend it. I'll leave it linked below. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely guilty of the things that they discussed. I've definitely dismissed things that didn't seem scary to me because they weren't my lived experience, and that's just, you know, I'm much more aware of that now. But this does a really good discussion into that, and talks about how like each person has a different fear. Obviously, no one has the same fears as anyone else, like all the same fears. And this kind of talks about how horror isn't taken as seriously because of that sometimes. And yeah, so it talks about like the traditional kind of gory and guts kind of thing, but it also talks about like paranormal stuff, but then it also talks about like real social issues happening. So it's been really interesting so far. I'm eager to see how the rest of the stories are going to go, because the first segment, I think there was only one that I just didn't really care for, but I've enjoyed most of them so far. I mean, I like flash stories for the most part, so I think it's really interesting when you can write a successful story in that little amount. So I haven't gotten any reading done. I do think I'm going to start an audiobook. I'm stuck up between 2 audiobooks right now that I want to get into, neither of which were on my TBR. Why am I this way? I don't know. My glasses are filthy. Oh my god. So, anyway. See you in the next one.